Good day, one and all. We are the Kings. That's Ice. I'm Tank. How you guys doing?
How you doing, everybody? So we're going to do something a little different for you guys today, because I know we're the pop culture kings, so we wanted to throw it up, not just movies. So we wanted to do a little bit about comic books, just for a minute. I want to talk to you about variant covers. What the variant cover is, it's pretty simple. Basically, when a comic book shop orders, they'll say 300 comic books or 100 comic books. Basically, what happens is they get a special cover. So, like this one right here was the Secret Invasion cover, and I believe this one was 100. So basically, every time the comic book shop orders 100 of them, they get a special variant cover like this. See, you can't. I know you can't see it very much because we don't have no one working the other end for it, but I wanted to talk about these for a second, because these can be pretty hot things to buy, but they usually die down pretty quick. I know this cost me, I can't remember how much it was, like $50, $60. Now on eBay, I can get a graded one for like 40 bucks. You always have to be careful when you're talking about buying comic books or investments, because these 99% of the time will go down. Usually whenever I see a cover that I like, I usually wait a couple months and go on eBay and buy it for half, usually at least half of the price they're asking. I'll get a comic book that's maybe $100 or $200 for like 50 or 60 bucks. So I just want to say, if you guys are talking about investing in comic books, which is pretty good to do if you know what you're doing. Now, for some of the comic books that I invested in, is this one right here is the first appearance of Deadpool. Now, I bought this one, Tank, for about $250 like a year and a half ago. Now, since all the rage of Deadpool, you know, his movie's coming out, correct, and all that stuff, all the hype's going around his movie, this one has jumped up between $500 to like $700. So I definitely got in good right now. And this one still might have a little bit room to go up. So usually you want to get a comic book before the hype, at the beginning of the hype. This one's going towards the end. You might be able to get one for a halfway decent price before it goes up a little bit more. But I don't think this one is going to go up too much more. So this one, like I said, I did pretty good investment on this one. Now, this one right here, I bought about 2+ years ago. This is the first appearance of Fantastic Four, or excuse me, not Fantastic Four, first appearance of Silver Surfer and Galactus. This one I paid about 600 bucks for, and it's worth about 800 more now. Now, if they ever come out with a movie and actually does good with them in it, it'll definitely go up in value, but time that happens, this thing's worth like 20 bucks. I mean, let's be honest. He's not talking at all. Okay, now last but not least, this one is my most expensive one. This is a 9.4 copy of the very first appearance of Thanos, and it has Drax in it, but I don't think anyone cares about Drax. I picked this one up just for the fact is that all the hype is going around Thanos and Infinity Gauntlet and all the other stuff that's coming out soon. This one is definitely a hot comic book. I've noticed people have been picking this comic book up left and right. I think if you have the money, this would be a nice investment, because this one right here, it still has plenty of value to go up, especially when the movies come closer and closer. It's definitely going to raise up in some value. So I paid $2,400 for this one right here, and I expect it to go to $3,000 time the movie comes, at least. Now, one more, like I said, this is going to be a quick video. The one comic book I'm looking for right now is, I'm thinking about getting, is a DC comic called Preacher. It's a little bit of a low-level comic book, but AMC is about to do a show on it next year. And if it does any good, like The Walking Dead, when it came, before the news of the movie came out, or the TV show came out, you can get a 9.6 for around 200 bucks, which isn't bad. I mean, now there's like 2 copies on eBay, and they're both like 1900 bucks. It's a very rare comic book, and people are eating it up. Now, Preacher does the same thing. I think Preacher might even be a lower run than The Walking Dead, because that came out in like sometime in the 90s, and then like 95, 96, something like that. And if it does half as good, I expect this one to go easily $1,000 if it's a good hit show. So you're talking about $400 for a 9.6 right now on eBay, and that's what I'm looking to invest right now. Because, like I said, it's a shot in the dark. If it does good, it can go up there. But if it doesn't, you still got a comic book worth, a couple $100. It's still a good investment. But if it, like I said, it's a hit or miss. AMC has been doing really good with their shows, so I expect it to definitely go up in value. And you have to get these comic books before the hype happens. Once the hype hits, it's already at its highest price. So it's better to get them quick. Still nothing? Okay. Like I said, just a quick video. I am Ice. This is Silent Bob here.
I have no idea anything you just said. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Yeah. You got everything out of it.
Well, like I said, it's just real quick. I mean, you see, I have like a pound plus in silver, and then the prices go up and down. Same with gold. Gold was up, now it's down. It's going back and forth. Generally, comic books don't go down in value. At least the good ones don't go down in value. They usually go up. I mean, it's just like you want to buy gold, you want to go up and down.
It's still a gamble.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is a gamble. Like I said, I'm thinking about spending $400 on a comic book. But once again, if you get the right comic book, those comic books usually don't go down in price. Like I said, 6 to 6 first appearances.
But because of the success of The Walking Dead, you're going to have other television shows popping up based on hardcore comic books like that. So, it's, if you're into this sort of thing, what you need to do, keep an eye on the trades whenever they announce new shows for the upcoming seasons. If you see anything in there remotely resembling something based on a comic book, boom, that's when you start looking up, where can I get this? Where can I get that? Like iZombie. iZombie turned into a hit. Next thing you know, people are like, I didn't know iZombie was based on a comic book. Those who knew going in were like, hey, I started collecting iZombie comics just in case the show does well. And guess what? The show is doing quite well. So, but then again, you could have, a case where the show could completely bomb and, set the comic back, decades. But, nowadays that's getting more and more rare because more and more of them are coming out. So one industry is kind of feeding the other. That's just how I see it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And I'm a total, Yeah,
and like I said, it is a crack shoot. Even if it is a successful series, doesn't mean the comic book is the comic book can go up in value. It doesn't mean that. But once again, you take a comic book that's already worth money and has the potential to make more money. Because iZombie versus The Walking Dead, there's probably no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Probably the iZombie one is probably definitely a smaller fan base.
Because it's a more obscure title.
Yeah, Walking Dead's kind of obscure too, but
yeah, it was
not anymore. But
hence why those comics are so hard to find now, because it was such an obscure comic.
Yes, they didn't make very much of them, and same with Preacher. So you got the same content, and like I said, it's AMC, and they've been hitting it out of the park with their shows lately. The new Walking Dead, Fear of the Walking Dead was a huge hit. Ratings-wise, yes. But content-wise, I know that a lot of people didn't like the show. They thought it focused way too much on, family drama as opposed to the entire world collapsing around them. Yeah, I actually agree. I didn't watch the show, so these are just things I've heard. Scary zombies. Excuse me.
But, AMC's crown jewel right now is, come on, Walking Dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the Preacher, I mean, that series comes out next year is going to be interesting.
Yeah,
too,
it will be. You know, Seth
what-
Rogen's one of the producers. I mean, you know, he's a hardcore fan of the comics, so
Yeah.
you know, I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah, because I've seen some. I haven't picked any of them up. I've seen them, you know, in comic stores over the years, but I believe it's like a Catholic preacher or minister, whatever, and he's like gets a power, godlike powers or something crap like that, and does righteousness, something like that.
It's I don't know a lot about the comic. It's just I just know it's really dark material.
Yeah,
and you have, you know, Joseph Gordon-Levitt putting together a Sandman movie. I mean, you know, again, another obscure title. And then again, it's a little bit more known than, say, an iZombie, but you have a lot of these little obscure titles being snapped up into, you know, movie properties or television or potential television show properties because of the success of, you know, Arrow and The Flash. And even though a lot of people, you know, don't like it, Gotham still pulls in solid ratings. And, you know, you have Legends of Tomorrow coming in January, I believe. And you have all these shows that are, you know, based on comic book characters that they're doing well, so, you know, you're just going to see more of them. And on top of it, you know, look what Netflix is doing, you know, with Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, and, you know, there's talk of a Moon Knight show, and there's talk of a Ghost Rider show, there's talk of, you know, doing something with Blade. I mean, you know, granted, you're not going to see these on, you know, on the big screen because it's, you know, Disney still is a family company. But if, you know, Marvel has a division where, you know, where they could go in with Netflix shows and put on their darker, you know, content. I mean, because Daredevil was absolutely genius, and I'm sure that didn't hurt the comic book sales, you know, when the show turned out to be awesome.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, he's actually coming out with a, because they're revamping all their Star Wars stuff again. Or I mean, Star Wars, they're revamping their Marvel comic books again. And a lot of them, it seems disappointing. It looks like Disney's getting their hands in some of them. A lot of them look really cheesy animation, or not animation, drawings. Some of it just looks bad, and well, I'm turned away from a lot of it. I'm only picking up a couple of
Marvel comics they're kind of more or less becoming a direct correlation as to what's going on with the movies. They're pushing the stuff that's, you know, that the movies are pushing.
Yeah.
Obviously. You know, hence why the Inhumans are being pushed forward in the comics more, because the movie is coming up. And, you know, there's talk of doing another Civil War series because, again, the movie is coming up.
Yeah, well, the Civil War series is already out.
Oh, they did another Civil War series. So, you know, Marvel, you know, again, Disney owns the whole shebang, so one feeds the other. It's like, look, we still have our comic book stories to do, but it just seems, from what I've seen in the press clippings and whatnot, that the comic books are pushing more of what's out there at the television shows and movies.
Yeah,
they're not tying themselves together continuity wise, but they're pushing the stuff that they're pushing in the film. So
yeah, you definitely see some of that in like Star-Lord's getting his own show, or his own comic book.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Next thing you know, you saw boom, more comics of those pop up, and you know, now they have a cartoon show.
Yeah, coming out. They got their comic book.
Yeah. So, you know, again, one monster is feeding the other.
Yeah, Daredevil actually has his own series. I don't think he has a series. I don't think he's had a series in a while. I haven't seen. Yeah. But he's coming out with a new series.
From what I heard, you know, people trying to sap up older Jessica Jones comics, you know, especially the Alias series, which the show is loosely based on, and stuff with Luke Cage. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, Disney's not stupid.
Yeah,
you know, they're not dumb.
As soon as I saw Moon Knight, was a possible Netflix. I was like, I'm going to check out his first appearances, War by Night, like 32 or whatever it is.
You know, Moon Knight is essentially Marvel's version of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, you don't see that guy in anything.
Yeah.
He's probably been in a comic book in quite some time. He pops up here and there. He hasn't had his own series in decades, probably. Yeah. And it's like, for like 9.6, it's like, I was thinking maybe like $100, $200. It's like $900,000. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, and as soon as, you know, the talk of a Moon Knight show turns into reality, then you're going to see more and more people like, wait, we have to go back and look at those comic books and see what this Moon Knight is all about.
Yeah, then they'll definitely start pushing them out. Like I said,
you know, again, Disney's not stupid. It's like, look, our movies are going to be one thing, but if you want to have darker content, shove all of that onto Netflix.
Yeah, it's because it's brilliant. Because basically, a movie does good, people want to see more of it, and then they break out a comic book of it. I mean, it's like, you like that? Oh, here comes some toys.
You know, there are those that are fans of the harder core stuff, and Marvel's like, look, Disney's like, hey, we can do that. We can do that on Netflix. Netflix is essentially like HBO. You know what I'm saying? You know, hence why the darker stuff you're going to see going to Netflix, which I think is an absolute genius move. Because if any of you saw Daredevil, you know what I'm talking about.
And if you haven't seen Daredevil, you definitely need to see Daredevil.
Yes. And you know, that show has easily, for me, Marvel's best villain. Wilson Fisk, a.k.a. Kingpin. Awesome. I know everyone loves Loki, but Kingpin was just the tits. He was just the tits.
Okay, that would just wrap it up. I like how we always talk about one thing and always end up back in Netflix or comics, whatever it is.
Well, they're doing it right there. That's what I dig. I mean, look, I had my issues with Avengers: Age of Ultron, and Ant-Man was really cute. But again, it was really cute. But, you know, I tend to like kind of harder edge stories, hence why the Daredevil stuff really spoke to me. I'm like, oh man, that stuff is awesome. You know, look, Marvel, the movies, dude, they don't suck. They're not going to put out crappy material. I mean, except for Iron Man 3.
I was about to cough and say Iron Man
3. You know, but of the, 12, 13 movies they've released, again, only a couple of them sucked.
And like almost every one of them's made money. A lot of money.
And they're all good. You know, I mean, should Avenger Age of Ultron have been should have been more epic, should have been more this, that, or the other? I mean, look, of course, whatever. I mean, but it was still entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't suck.
It's still they're saying it's a disappointment for them.
Watch the honest trailer on it. That tells you everything.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that tells you everything you need to know.
But yeah, as I said, it was a disappointment to them. It didn't make as much money, but it still made $1.4 billion. So you know what?
Yeah.
And it's on DVD. It's on DVD, so it makes more money. I just got done watching it in 3D. It was awesome. It was really fun. I had fun with that.
You know, but I'm just reiterating that, you know, like with, say, Justice League Dark, which Warner Brothers is working on, I'm sure that comic is going to see, you know, a lot more business now because they're actually making it happen. You know, it's just, I like how one monster is feeding the other monster, because it still makes comic books, for me, relevant.
Yeah.
Because for a while, you know, around the time when Marvel went bankrupt, you know, they kind of flooded the market and overdid it. Next thing you know, the bubble burst.
Because basically what happened was everyone started buying up comic books because they figured a lot of these comic books were selling for a lot of money back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
So people
be rare.
Yeah, because people
covers.
People started buying them up and they started making, you know, 3, 4, or 5 different covers. Certain ones of them, X-Men. I remember X-Men #1 had like 5 different covers for it. And what happened was when people tried to go sell them, they're like, we don't want them because
everyone has them.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why the other ones are so rare and valuable because they're rare.
Yeah,
it's really hard to find a grade this good. There's like
Comic
three.
books were a very niche thing.
Yeah, back then. Now it's not.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, most of the comic books today ain't worth much. Some of them, a few exceptions. I know, like,
Well, like, you know, you look at, like, whoever thought Suicide Squad was going to be a movie. Now, let's be honest, you know, the few times I've been to comic shops in the last, you know, few months, I've seen that you see more and more Suicide Squad comics out there because the movie's coming up. And I saw the same thing in Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, I mean, you know, that's just, you know, as me who doesn't know a lot about comics, I mean, that's just what I see.
yeah, so, like I said, it's just, smart thing is, it seems like all the big comic book names are taken, or, you know, it's about to be put into some, so, like, they're going to get their B-list characters, or their C-list characters, or the more darker stuff, and they're going to start, you know, pimping that out. So if you hear something, do your research a little bit on it, look at see how much it costs, look around, don't just look around at eBay, look at other places too, because I know eBay sets their prices up kind of high. If you go to, like, comic book auctions, usually you can get a more fairer deal. So I know I wanted the first appearance of Fantastic Four, and I paid $600 for it, and they wanted, like, back then it was like $700-800. No one was buying them. Now it's worth about $700-800. Now they want like $1,000 for them. So it's like I said, just do your research a little bit, look around. If you think it's an investment, remember, even if it's not a successful movie, TV show, whatever, it's still worth money, and people will definitely buying comic books more and more. It's pop culture. It's now pop culture. I mean, it's up there with Star Wars. You got Star Wars and you got comic books.
Or it could be like what happened with Iron Man.
Still made $1 million, I'm just saying. Like I said, it only affects the hardcore nerd people. Well, okay, I am Ice. This is Tank. We will see you guys next time.